Thank you so much, Zeke, and we're going to hop right on board here with game number 3 winners. My name's Sundown, joined here by Sancho West as we head into matches 4, 5, and 6 of Europe here in heat number 1. Don't forget the other heats are going on. Then after this, we'll take a little bit of break, and the NA East action will be all over now because we did have a little bit of that break. We're hopping in midway through. This is zone number 1 closing right now, Sancho.
And we've taken a look at the mini-map. You see that it's going to be a very centralized zone as 1 and 4 kind of go center and center. And already Zone 1 has revealed itself dead center of the island as we're on here in Ant Manor. And this is kind of metaphor to their run. This small trio that's coming out of nowhere is blowing up right in front of us here, getting to that 60 feet stature size. Already second place here in day 1 of Heat 1. Just taking a look at their overall performance, as Reese said, an average placement of 3rd, 4.6 in elims. So they're not doing this with an aggressive elims. They're doing this by just getting to in-game and surviving.
Yeah, just finding your space. That's what Battle Royale is all about. And you can see the placement points. We've talked about it. That top 3 is so loaded with them. And the fact that they're averaging inside of that means they're always getting that little extra slice of the pie. You know, it's that one little fat piece that was right there. And you're like, yeah, that one's a little bit bigger. Maybe it's got a little more icing, or like, at least for me, it was like, I was always the one, it was like, it's not looking for where the name is. It's where like whatever the decoration was had the most dense of the, icing on there. That's what I was all about. It's like, give me that slice. They've been getting that in terms of the placement, and it's been making up for it. However, as we've noted before, with those consistent teams who don't necessarily have that elimination potential, one game slipping up can end up costing them so much. So we're going to keep an eye on that top left, and if we see them go completely out, that's kind of a red flag.
Already we're seeing red flags with Savage, Lecce, and Fishy. Benji's trio is just at 9th place at the moment, so it's not full DEFCON 5 type, all men on board, on deck type of situation. But I think Mongrel, we've been talking about the Fortnite community, Mongrel's going full demon here. He's all demon out as Mongrel has more elims by himself than 82% of the teams in the qualifiers, just showing how vital he is for him to stay on his feet and to be alive, of course.
I mean, he's just the kid is freaking good. He is good at Fortnite. He is good at pressuring other people. He is good at eliminating them. There is no part of his game that he is necessarily bad at when it comes to mechanics. The weakness when it comes to Mongrel happens to end up being the overplay and the aggression, stuff that comes from mental, where if he gets knocked out early a couple of times, it can really affect his game. We saw that back in Season X with the MMB trio, Mitro, Mongrel, and Benji, when they got ambushed over there at the mall and ended up eventually getting taken out. It's just the retail row was so strong at that time, but because somebody game planned, they were able to get in their head a little bit and made it that much harder. As we see, Storm Surge is going to tick on, but these guys, no worries about it, as they've already wiped the trio up here. Mongrel sitting on a pair of elims and Mitro with the other.
Mongrel has 6 shockwaves in his inventory. We saw Savage with 6 as well in this match and the previous one, as they're going to go ahead and convoy, roll out together using those awesome Tony Stark whiplashes. The mock proving it to actually be vital for actually picking up Mongrel, as we did see him go down early for this early aggression. He was able to get rebooted as this strong trio, who's currently sitting in our 4th place with an overall great performance, an average of 5th place, average of 4.6 elims. So Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson so far are doing really well. They're just waiting for that other kind of like victory royale. They got at least 7+ victory royale going into heats, so they're definitely due for one here soon.
You can see Mitro and Mongrel in the back one of the Mark 51s there, as it reads on the license plate, actually taking a little bit of fire, and that one's going to get popped, cost Mongrel a little bit of his shields, but they should have more than enough utility. Tayson still wheel bound right now, and they're going to see how long they can at least keep one of those cars up as they continue the rotation, trying to head center zone. And nope, instead just going to drop that one off, say this is drawing way too much attention, as we pull over to the Sentinel graveyard yet again.
And we're going to see another finish at the Sentinel, as we're seeing another little mini engagement that kind of happens here in this tunnel. We mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, how it's just something where people set up ambushes and you can just see how congested it can be in tight quarter. And all the box fighting skills come into play as Blaster, though, is getting beamed as the lobby focuses. Look at that mini-map there, Sundown. You got two triangles of trios looking into this direction, trying to pop as many shots into these fresh builds as possible, and they did some nice tags. As we see in Blaster as well in the inventory, does have a lot of shields, and also the peppermints, because the trick-or-treat season is alive. Is interesting to see how he uses those peppermints to his advantage, because they kind of work as peppers. But now we're taking a look as Deja Vu, Vettel, iDrop, and Star6 sitting in a strong position just inside here in this Sentinel Graveyard section.
Yeah, they'll have one more center rotation when the fourth zone does come out, but as of now, sitting absolutely pretty. They'll have plenty of shots, and this is a very steep drop-off towards the backside of this, and you can already see there's a number of teams who are going to be forced to rotate past them, and considering they're only 115 above the Storm Surge on the right side, 6 players need to go down. They're in a spot where, not only can they find some tags, they're going to find some elims, and as they talked about it, keeping an eye on the top left corner, Tayson got a knock onto Zynie. Mitro confirms that over, so that full trio, which when we've seen them averaging the top third, or top 3 placement the entire time, has now had one of their members go down. How well can they play in a 2v3 situation, and can they recover? As Star6, Vettel, and Co. are finally going to be able to tick that one over. That's Lawboom also getting picked up there, so that trio being completely cleaned up.
Star6, Vettel, and iDrop, this is where they know these rotations very well. If you take a look at their VOD reviews and all those kinds of things, or replays, they kind of navigate this area using the rifts as much as possible to get the center, and they just have a great fundamental way of just kind of gatekeeping, working together, beaming together, and that is where they pick up a lot of early to mid-game elims as much as possible. And now we're going to see into somebody who just squeaked their way into this, qualifying just in the last week 3, coming in at number 15, I believe, with 7 toward Fremont and Link. And these are the kind of ones that I want to keep an eye on, because it's always the people that come in at the very end, those last trios, this last solo or duo comes in at that last spot, could walk away and get the whole championship. I'm taking a look at where they're kind of coming in right now. They're still in the back of the pack, only the top 8 advance, so they got some work to do. And I'm going to just take a look here. Yeah, they're sitting around the 20s here, so Sundown. So this is an opportunity. The good thing is they got 12 games to work with.
And you can see Shockwave coming out, and they're going to begin that rotation. But Seventor got split off, and he might have gotten isolated there for a second. But just before we zoomed in there in the elimination feed, we actually saw Kaspersa pick up player number 71 to turn off the Storm Surge. However, he was then player 70 eliminated. So now both him and Zynie have been completely cleaned up. So that trio just down to one solo member now, as Link and Artur continuing to put some pressure on the backside. Storm also playing a little bit of a benefactor there. You did hear that player tick over, but they didn't get any of the credit. It seemed like it was Melee on the backside who was able to get that one, and it was, as WKey is able to find him there as well. Nico also in the Storm. So 2 different trios over here on the side. Good confirmation from Link, but no Siphon coming through because that wasn't his down. Naleon, however, just gets pre-fired almost and taken out there. So good shot from him. They'll have plenty of options to be able to tunnel back in. They should have a decent number of mats, so well executed, and even going to opt to burn a Shockwave to just say, hey, I'm not taking any excess storm damage here.
And the Cinderella story continues on for this trio, and we're taking a look at the rest of the world that is kind of unfolding here. Savage, Lechi, and Benji sitting right in front of them, so that's going to be a dangerous trio to go through. Wakey, Michael, and Snappy, Michael FN on Twitter, still up there, coming in from that Craigie Cliffside. Interesting rotation coming all the way over. And now we're going to take a look how everybody's Billy going up the mountain. The Deal trio had a strong showing early down on the bottom side, but look at the height. You're seeing everybody kind of contested, as iDrop and Vettel, who had it momentarily now because of the way the Storm rotated, had to give it up. But we saw a great video from Reese that you definitely want to check out. And they're in the break talking the importance of height and how trios kind of jockey for position here in zones 4, 5, and 6. And I don't know if anyone else in the world does it better than Zap, Stretch, and Zayt.
Yeah, Stretch and Zayt showing a phenomenal class there, and Reese doing a great job breaking it down. But now we're going to hop back on board with what I think is almost a masterclass in their ability to take height late. And I'm talking about that kind of the post 5 and 6, the ones when you go for those ultra takes, even when there is the people who are on the ultimate high. These guys tend to be able to find those necessary eliminations on the mid ground. But right now, they are 310 damage below the Storm Surge threshold. As soon as this zone closes in 30 seconds, they're going to start taking that 25 damage every 10 seconds, and they need to find not only a full a knock here, but also a conversion if they want to get outside of it. Already getting a 60 tag to kind of close in on it a little bit, but the pressure being put on them now as the Nos is knocked, and they're losing valuable time when they should be getting aggressive to try and stick a revive. And you can see Thomas is going to have to pull off of that here in a second because that Storm Surge is about to come off. You can see trying to find a little bit of a room, but instead, no, Thomas says, what am I doing? I'm an aggressive player. I'm going forward. Finds the pump into the AR swap. We're going to wait for the replay to catch up here in a second. He's got to find a second one onto M10 Karma as well. So a good job getting them above the threshold. And on top of that, they pulled the 5th zone. So if Thomas can get a Nos up, all of a sudden what was a disastrous actual DEFCON 5 wee woo call everyone get him over here situation, Thomas again puts the team on his back. Everyone hop in the backpack that is Gamma's Thomas HD, arguably the strongest player in the world right now, as he puts the team in there and gives them a primary position. We're going to hop over there. Vadil and co. cleaning up a clean little 3v3 there, or not necessarily a clean 3v3. Now it's a 3v2v1 as they get that elimination and a little bit more room to operate. But you can see priority for zone is on this height. It's going to make everybody who's not already in that stack so incredibly challenged.
And Nos' trio had that emergency meeting. They kind of huddled and rallied up. It just shows you how patient Thomas HD was. He was hiding behind that cone, waiting for that perfect opportunity to strike, held that wall, did the edit, and confirmed and got a 2-piece right then and there. So a strong showing from Thomas HD, showing the prowess of having Storm Surge right on their back, breathing down their neck. Tayson, Mongrel, and Mitchell trying to kind of turn their fate right now. They're sitting just outside the top 4. You know, these confident players, these egos want to walk away with that #1 spot here and day one. Mongrel, Mitchell, Tayson looking really strong with 5 limbs, and you mentioned it, everybody is staying as high as possible, as if the water is rising, and they're just doing their best to kind of inch their way. And look at that height is Leon's trio sitting at height right now with a great position to kind of hold on to it and maintain it the rest of the ride.
And you can see also in that top left corner, we have our top 17 trios right now. So that elimination that Mitra was able to find gave them the 2 points ticking over. We're going to hop on board here. M10 Legend, Flurixon, and Waves Cartoon with a little bit of room, but a super far pull. We are going all the way away from that height, over a mountain, not through the woods, and not quite across a river, but Grandma's house is right on the other side, and you can see everyone is beginning to tarp towards that side because nobody had the priority position, and you have a ways to go.
And here they go. They're coming around the mountain as they go, trying to find that safe zone as much as possible. And you're seeing other people taking a very clever route, using that natural terrain. This is a great rotation from Cartoon Legend and Florix, as they do find Michael right there. Bang! Down goes Michael. It gets lobbied right there, and that is showing you how so many like-minded people think alike as they cross paths with another trio. Gonna go ahead and switch layers as much as possible to get on the front side, because this is, as you mentioned, Old Man Mountain. He's not afraid to bop you. And we're seeing Leon and Centric Knights and Dasik have a great position here. But we've been seeing in the EU region, it's not like NA East. Somebody will try to contest you and overtake you at a moment's notice.
Which means, right as you talk about it, the moment's notice is now. No notice for us, indeed. We hop on board. Shockwave comes out from Tayson. A great pre-fire that comes out with the cone, cracking the shield on the high ground, but going to be forced to drop back down as they were just a little bit above the Shockwave height. Not quite able to execute on the build battle, and now with no white heals either, it's going to be incredibly difficult. However, got priority position, gets the Shockwave, and he finds the one hit. Mitro ends up picking up a Nos with a little bit of help from Tayson there. Good 1-2 combo from 2 of the best to do it. The 7th elimination gives them access to the high ground. And now what will the top trio do with it?
Oh my goodness. The 1-2 haymaker out of nowhere, knocking out our #1 spot right then and there in the fight for maintaining height is on. It's just a matter of time. And then we mentioned the analyst desk. They have the ability to beam. Their prowess, their aim, whatever you want to call it, is so strong. And it's going to go down outside the mountain. And this is where you get dangerous, because they're going to resource a lot of that. It's going to be expended here just to hold height as much as possible. And we're taking a look here at Tayson. Mitro gets another elim. So all these double amplified bullets are going to hit those headshots and give them the necessary damage that they need. Here's a nice trio split, and we're seeing them all so aggressive, trying to stop everybody from contesting them at height.
All you hear is the sound of the ARs, the blop, 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 and anybody who comes up instantly gets sent right back down, but they're doing it in the down but not out position with mats raining from the sky as well. Nothing is scarier than when these three lords of Europe are just raining shots down on you. Tayson from E11, Liquids, Mitro, and FaZe Mongrel, just one of the absolute best, showing you how to really punish from the high ground. 12 eliminations and counting, as everyone else is cowering and fighting for their lives in the build on the low ground. And now Mongrel is being unleashed to go hunting. He's in your bottom right, and you can see him there pumping to the AR swap right away. 13 eliminations coming through so far, and they're just trying to run up the scoreboard.
Here we go. This is what they do. The microwave moment. We talked about boxing like a fish. They put this entire lobby in a barrel, and they're just shooting down anybody that's contesting and racking up elims. This is the pop-off game that we were all knew that they were due, and they're doing it right here in front of us. Tayson with the extreme tracking, Mitro with the extreme beams, Mongrel going big growl at the moment, and they're going to close this door. It's a top 3 situation, and look at it. There it is. They're using crash pads to disrupt anybody down below. iDrop and Stir6 are holding on. It's a 3v2 situation. Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson in a matter of moments, but we have been seeing the coin flip over. Tayson now is on the ground. He's been sent down below alongside with Mongrel. Mitro picks up Stir6. It's a 3v1. It's a matter of moments, and yes, it is Mongrel, Tayson, and Mitro with a huge game. I'm talking big dog E game. 19 elims. Cam, oh my goodness.